As an outdoors landscape photographer, springtime is always a great time of year just to celebrate the return of some colour to the woodlands. The microflora and fauna are making an appearance, and the browns and the greys and the dead of winter, they're now long gone and in the past. It's a time to look forward to, it's a time to enjoy, and it's a time to crack out the macro lens. So let's have a look, see what we can do around the woods with an OM System OM1 Mark II and the 60mm macro lens from Olympus. But without a doubt, and as you would expect with a lens like this, really this time of year, it's got to be about the bugs, hasn't it? It's got to be. They're just fun little things to find. So in all of this grass down here, I've come across, well, a bug. I'm not an insectologist, I don't know bugs, but it's fun. It's quite green and iridescent, but it's also just popping off the greenery around it a little bit. This setup here, you can see I'm using an LED light panel just to illuminate the front of this subject. I normally use one on a little tripod, but we're trying a slightly different approach today, and I'm using it more like a flash, if that makes any sense. I've got the focus stacking mode turned on the OM1 Mark II, which is just a brilliant little tool. It gives you a stacked JPEG image so you can see if your stack is going to work, but it also throws in there the raw files, and I'm going to take 10 of them and stack them when I get home. So I'm going to focus on our insecty little friend, hold the shutter button down, and that takes 10 photos, stacks them in camera, but like I say, all of the raw files are still there, so you can stack them and edit them when you get home. Now that's done, here it is. So patience is definitely the name of the game when it comes to this macro photography, and I think it's kind of one of the reasons why I tend to leave it to a couple of times a year just for a little bit of fun. I finally found another little bug. It's a little red spider. It's on a spider's web, so it kind of looks like it's floating, but using the focus stacking on this camera, I'm able to actually get some of the web in focus, so it kind of looks like this web is just floating on a background of green with this nice bright red spider just popping off in the distance. So we're down at f2.8, which I may change. Let's go 5.6 on this. We've got plenty of shutter speed here. So f5.6, ISO 200, an 80th of a second. And all I have to do is hold the shutter button down. The camera's going to take a stack of 10 photos, focus stacking, moving the focus point forwards and backwards. Like I say, it stacks the JPEG. Here's the final image. I'm really enjoying myself this morning. It's just so incredibly peaceful around here. Birds are finally singing. It's warmed up a little bit. There is some colour, there is some life, and I'm genuinely enjoying macro photography once again. And I think it's maybe in part due to the camera that I'm using, the fact it's able to stack in the camera for me, and I can see if all of them stacks are going to work. Whereas before, if I went out and focus stacked with macro photography, I'd go home, take a bunch of photos, and you'd sometimes, no, it didn't quite work. But this is great because you can see instantly if it's going to work, and you can adjust accordingly if not. And it just improves your take-home shot ratio, if that makes any kind of sense. It's just a fun little tool to use, is this in-camera focus stacking on the OM1 Mark II. That's enough chatting. Let's go see if we can find some more subjects to take. I'm really enjoying my little self. So just shifting focus away from bugs for a second, there is a little white daisy right underneath my camera. There is a black fly on it. It is still there, which is great. So we're just going to go for a top down on this daisy. I've placed the light alongside this bag, so it's just kind of backlighting it from the sides, just to add a little bit of drama to the photograph. So I'm going to focus right on the little bug. f4.5, a 1/25th of a second, ISO 200. Just waiting for this breeze to still off a little bit. There we go. So if I hold the shutter button, job's a good one. Here's another focus stacked photograph of a little white daisy with a black fly right on top of it. To me, macro photography is a proper art form. It takes the art of photography and it really throws it all together. It takes experience, it takes talent, it takes knowledge, it takes persistence. And when you come out on a day like this and you have a moderate amount of success with it, I really get excited about it. Now, that's not me calling myself an artist when it comes to macro photography. I understand some of the basics around it, but it's the patience side of it that I lack. And to a point, maybe some of the knowledge. Like for instance, a couple of years ago when I bought my first macro lens, I would just go out, shoot everything at f2.8 and go home very disappointed. The lack of any kind of depth of field when you're down at macro apertures, it really brings to the forefront the fact that you need to be able to stack. Because I now have a camera that is able to stack, well, that takes that side of it and puts a tick in that box. Adding LED lights, lighting in macro photography is very important, and you can get very creative with it as well and create some stunning little scenes. So focus stacking and adding LED lights. Two little tips that I could pass on to you if macro photography is somewhere where you're starting to explore. Focus stack and add light. It will improve your results tenfold, but the rest of it, the experience, the knowledge, that's something that takes time. And I'm kind of wondering if today may have G'd me up a little bit and just given me that encouragement and that boost to go out and try macro photography a little bit more often. When you see something in focus on the back of the camera, something that you wouldn't really be able to see with your eye, the details and everything, it really is quite rewarding. So give it a try. You might really enjoy it. So for this final photograph that I'm going to take today, I'm just pointing straight down at the seed head of a daffodil, and to my mind's eye it looks like a strange little planet floating against this green backdrop, like maybe a nebula or something in space. This is how this works up here, but anyway, it looks kind of fun. So I've angled the light so it's pointing straight down on this daffodil's head, which is just going to darken off the background and the greens ever so slightly. I'm going to focus right on the centre of this seed head, f5.6, a 40th of a second, ISO 200. Now the wind's calmed down, hold the shutter button down, and here's a stack of 10 photographs of a seed head. So thank you very much for watching today's video. I really hope you enjoyed seeing the photos just as much as I've enjoyed taking them this morning. Macro photography, it really is an art form, but it really is quite fun all at the same time. So thank you very much for watching. If you have enjoyed the video, please do give it a thumbs up and a like. It really does help bring new viewers to see my content. And if you're new here and you see me for the very first time, why not hit that subscribe button down below, and you'll see more micro four thirds related nonsense from myself every single week. So until next time, I love you and leave you and just say peace and goodbye.